Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Microsoft Whiteboard app. It is a part of the Microsoft Office suite, or it's connected to the Microsoft Office suite, so PowerPoints or Word documents or Outlook, which if you're on Google, you can always save those documents as those formats, and you can load them onto your whiteboard and then interact with them in a very meaningful way. So one of the things I want to show you is how you can get to the app. It's in the bottom right corner. There's a pen icon down here. You click on it, it brings up two apps. You might not be able to see it, but the whiteboard here is what you're going to want to do. It brings up the app, and it may bring up the most recent. No, it didn't. Thanks. So this is a cloud saving platform. So much like the preloaded video editor and the voice recorder, it saves within the app. You don't have to really do anything. It just saves your progress as you go. Fantastic stuff. So anyway, I've always wanted my smartboard to be more like a whiteboard. I don't like moving my smartboard. Actually, my old classroom, I didn't even have a smartboard. It was just a wall, so there was no flexibility. So I needed apps like this that would help me make the most of my space. So it wasn't a whiteboard. This is what I needed, a virtual whiteboard, if you will. So anyway, all your tools are down here. You have various colored pens, you have highlighters, you have erasers, you have text, Post-its, pictures, adding various things, redo and undo, okay? The other thing I want to bring your attention to is this up here. If you wanted to collaborate with some colleagues that are in Outlook, just bring up the plus button and that will help you collaborate with some folks. You can write down people's names to search with the pen or with your finger. But anyway, these people are your suggested contacts based on what you have through Outlook. The other thing you can do, like I said, is you can export these notes here on your whiteboard. Like let's say you take some really great notes with that of your class discussion. You're doing a PBL and you really want to keep the notes. You can export them as a PNG image just by clicking that export. It saves your whiteboard as a PNG image. It saves it to one place on your platform. You can always bring it back up by clicking the image and going to your image library. But I want to show you the capabilities of this. So, like I said, this is about taking notes here. So, what I'm going to do is start my day with a little bit of math lesson, and I start my math lessons with some practice problems and some vocabulary. So if I have my vocabulary and I have all the different terms down here, okay, and then I have my students write those down, when they are finished, I can have some space over here to have some practice problems. So let's say we had 2/5 times 3/4, and then some students were like, ooh, Mr. Stewart, I need the vocabulary again. That's fine. I can just reference it back over where it is because it was right there, okay? And we go back right to the problems and things like that. On my computer, I can pinch and zoom just like I would on an iPad or anything like that. So I can make this smaller or bigger if I want to, which is really important for when I want to, let's say, add a template. Let's say I shifted over from math and I want to do an idea for a PBL, and I want to have some kids talk about things that they know, things that they want to know, and things that they've learned. So I'll look for a KWL template. There's a lot of things for business meetings, because this is, once again, Microsoft Teams works with this. But I would say, when trying to do a class discussion and you want to start a project, and one of the things you can do is talk about a KWL, they already have a template for you. And I'm going to zoom out of this just so you can see how this is set up. But we have these as individual Post-it notes. So let's say we're working with students and each of them has their space. And let's say we want to move one, like, oh, you know what, that's actually not really a wondering, or that's not really something, so these can move from place to place. They're all clickable and things like that. And like I said, we can add Post-its here and there. We can also change the colors of Post-its. So if this needs to go here, it can go there and it just snaps right into place if we want it to, or we want it to go back over on this side. So that's one of the cool things. I also like the ability for, let's say we're doing a number talk, okay? We're doing a number talk with some students and you have the number talk up there, the number talk problem. So let's do, once again, that same, oops, didn't clip the pen. Oops, I think it likes the black pen the most. So let's do 2/5 times 3/4 again. That's our number talk for the day. And somebody brings up whatever a student thinks, let's put it on a Post-it, okay? So this Post-it right here will be the student one's ideas, okay? I say that that's gonna be coded as blue, right? The next student comes up with an idea or a way to solve the problem. I'll bring up another Post-it. Let's say it has something to do with this previous one. It connects in some way. So let's visually represent that. So one of these things that it's just very intuitive, very cool way for your students thinking to be represented in the space of the classroom. So that's really what I like about the Microsoft Whiteboard. Like I said, you can bring up previous day's notes. So let's say you wanted to, actually, sorry, it's not there. It's in images, I always mess that up. Anyway, you can bring up your camera, you can bring up Bing images, or you can bring up a image library, which is once again where you've saved things to your computer. So I've saved this test, right? It was just a bunch of Post-its from another number talk we had previously. Let's say we're referencing yesterday's number talk, okay? And I wanna bring those notes in. It kind of resizes to where you were working on it yesterday and the area in which you explored. But you can also resize it. If your students need to see this bigger, just drag it and let's just drag the corner and let's make it bigger for them, okay? Let's say we want to be done with it today because we don't want it to be really a part of these notes. You can move it over to the side. You can even delete it from the notes. This is one of the cool things about this Whiteboard app. It's completely customizable to what you and your class needs. So if you need help working with the Microsoft Whiteboard, I'd be happy to help. I'm learning it as we go, but this is really, really cool. So happy teaching.